angry feeling, and then we start just allowing our mind to play with it, to swirl with it, to come up with a list of reasons that we are so right to be angry and we feel justified. Our anger is a righteous thing. It's not something we want to avoid. And that actually feels really good. You can get that kind of excitement, that dopamine hit from allowing yourself to indulge in that way. But, to what end? As we further allow ourselves to create a list of all of the reasons that we are right, we are further activating our nervous system. And from an activated place, we are not using all of our capacity. We have our prefrontal cortex functioning not optimally. The part of our brain that is our maturity, is our higher level functioning and reasoning, is limited when we are activated. So we can feel the anger. We can allow it to become righteous within us. And the more that we think about it, the more we make the case for why we're so right. And the thing that we are angry about is so wrong. The more we're getting activated, the more we are getting locked into that black and white, right, wrong, safe, unsafe consciousness space. So it compounds on itself. When we allow ourselves to indulge in that angry feeling and indulge in the thought processes that make us right for our anger, we are further becoming reactive. We are further losing our full capacity. So what if when we feel that anger, we allow ourselves to feel it as a feeling without attaching to it, without attaching stories and narratives and really deciding all the reasons that we are right for feeling that anger? What if we let it pass through? And then as we calm our nervous system, come back to the situation. I think people are afraid that if they give up acting out in anger, that they're going to give up that sense of being invalidated, the injustice. But, I would say that the capacity that you have to advocate for yourself or others from a regulated place is going to be much stronger, much more respect for the nuance of the situation. When you're calmed down, you can think about what is the outcome that I am desiring and what is the most effective way to get there. How can I assess the situation based on what I know about the people involved, what I know about their value systems, I know about their own reactivity. How can I work within that system to actually create something that is, a more fair and just system? But it's tricky. And within our own lives, we can often so quickly move to the righteous anger that it can eclipse the situation that even came up. There can be a small thing that activates us. And very often what happens then is people get angry. And because they're feeling angry, we have feelings and we have this tendency to try to understand, why do I feel this way? Okay, so then you create the story of why you're angry. And then you're more angry and you're acting out with more anger. And often for people, then there's, some additional feeling states that are coming in. Then there's some embarrassment. Often the initial trigger was actually something that was more embarrassing or frustrating than really triggering anger. But people are more comfortable with anger than sitting with those other things. But so now you've acted out. Now you've said the thing. And now you're kind of feeling embarrassed. So what do? You double down on the righteous, justified anger to explain it. Because now you're so far in that to say, oh, I think maybe I just lost my mind for a minute there. I think maybe I got reactive and was saying things I didn't mean. It's harder. It's harder to come out of that. So it's a really slippery slope, and it's a dangerous thing to play with. We can look at the world and we can feel so frustrated, so angry at the ways that certain people are making choices that are devaluing the humanity of others. But how do we react from a place of grounded love, connection of our truth, rather than just mimicking the fear-based reactionary systems that are causing the suppression? So much of what's playing out in the world are things that are also playing out within us, within our own relationships, within our own internal thought processes. And so, we can't always change the world, but how can we attend to our own self? How can we feel our anger as a feeling without attaching to it, without allowing it to pull us into the throes of the reactionary right, wrong, good, bad thinking, but allow it to inform us. Allow it to inform us that we need to regulate our nervous system. We need to take a break, and then to come back to the idea and evaluate it from from a grounded space where you can really assess the situation based on your values, not just on your emotional reactionary feeling, which, as we know, our emotions, our feelings are largely driven by projections, largely driven by the data we've collected and how that data is helping us to project future outcomes. So it's quite possible that sometimes when we assess it from a grounded place, it's not even something that's worth being angry about. Perhaps it's something that we just want to share, speak up about, or perhaps it's something that is hugely problematic. But either way, approaching it from a space of groundedness, a balanced nervous system, is going to be a much more effective tool than leaning into the futility of righteous anger expressed.